and welcome. It's Patrick Prohaska, and today is Sunday the 26th. We've got 11 a.m. Pacific straight up, and it's such a joy to have all of you with me here today. That, of course, was Alana Morissette singing Thank You. And at the end of the session today, we're going to listen to a different version of that, which somebody sent me. Thank you, Barbara, for sending it to me. And you've probably seen it. It's going around Facebook. We'll revisit that toward the end. So welcome everyone. Today we're looking at optimism and gratitude. But before we get into today's materials, let's do a couple of things really quickly, a little housekeeping. As you know, this is the very first time I'm doing an event like this on Zoom for my Sunday events. There is a little bit of retraining that needs to be done because in the past, if you wanted to raise your hand and you were calling in on the telephone, you had to hit *2. On Zoom, if you want to raise your hand to be unmuted on the telephone, it's *9. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand, hit *9. The easier way to do it, of course, is to be using the Zoom app rather than dialing in. So if you have the Zoom app, use that or do it on your computer. And that way you can just raise your hand directly on the screen. So everyone, thank you so much. Welcome. I'm so happy to have all of you here with me today. I will probably vanish from the screen several times during this event because when I get into channeling mode, I like to walk up, I close my eyes, I walk in a circle. It looks really bizarre if I'm doing that on camera. So if I feel the urge to do that, I will make myself vanish from the screen and you'll just get this lovely background. So today we are talking about gratitude. And one of the things that I am really grateful right now is my health is restored. I had 5 weeks of mild to moderate symptoms, and now I'm 95% of the way back, and I feel energetic. And I think I'll go hiking today after we finish. The other thing is that in this 5 week period, I've had time to shut down, turn inward, introspect, and a brand new light bridge is being birthed in the process. So Lightbridge is now ready for the next step in its evolution. If you've followed me for the past several years, you know every 2 years or so, Lightbridge gets an upgrade. And the latest upgrade is now. The funny thing about this is the brand new tool that I'm introducing into Lightbridge is one that my guides gave me a year and a half ago. And I played around with it, but I was resistant to incorporating it. And now it's time for me to launch that. So beginning next Sunday at this time, I'll do a series of free events every Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific for the next 4 or 5 weeks or so. And I'm going to call it, for now, I'll probably just call it Lightbridge Happy Hour. And we're going to play around in a new way that's really exciting for me. So next week, I'll be announcing all of the big changes coming up in Lightbridge. For those of you with Lightbridge certifications, don't worry. This doesn't mean that anything in Lightbridge is obsolete. It means, as it's always meant in the past, that brand new tools are being added to the toolkit, and you may love these new tools better than what you've used in the past. So you may let go of some things, but nothing is obsolete, nothing is being jettisoned. So everyone, please make sure you're in a very safe and comfortable place with no distractions. Please don't do anything potentially dangerous. No driving, no chopping vegetables. If you are doing something like that, simply set the intention to listen and not participate. And now please allow me to connect energetically with you and with your higher self. Beautiful. Let's lock in that connection by taking a very, very deep breath. Hold that for a moment. And release when you're ready. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so I have gotten a couple of messages, and one just came in now saying that the link in the email message I sent didn't work. It does work. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. It could be that Zoom is overloaded with people using it. So I don't know. I'll do some research and figure out what's going on with that. But we've got 42 people on this call right now, and that tells me that it's working fine. So thank you. Okay, so we are going to start with a concept that I really want you to embrace, or at least consider embracing, as long as you can understand intellectually what I'm talking about here, then you're moving in the right direction in my mind. And what I want to clarify for everyone is the really powerful positive energies, such as joy or gratitude or pleasure or bliss, that all of these exist in almost two separate forms. There's a higher dimensional form, and there's the three-dimensional form that we experience in our day-to-day lives. So when I'm talking about joy, there is, on the one hand, the pure, self-sustaining, glorious feeling of joy for joy's sake. And then there's our provisional understanding of joy, which is the pain and suffering you have in your life makes you appreciate the joyful things even more. And I want to make sure that everyone understands that both of those types of joy exist and that both of them are available to you. The problem that I see a lot of times in the world, and with gratitude and joy and prosperity and bliss and all these other positive characteristics, is that in our three-dimensional reality, we only ever understand them in contrast with their opposite. So you appreciate prosperity because you understand what poverty is and what it feels like. You appreciate bliss because you understand what pain is and what it feels like. And that's perfectly fine. That's actually the way things are organized in our three-dimensional reality. However, it is possible to experience bliss as just pure bliss on its own. And that's where the true power is. So just think of it this way: joy, the pure, raw frequency of joy, is self sustaining. When you have that experience of joy just for the sake of joy, bliss for the sake of bliss, it supports itself. The only thing that stands in the way of it being self supporting is your level of awareness. If you lose awareness of the raw energy of joy, then it kind of disappears for you until you focus your attention on it again, and boom, there it is. That's different than the joy you feel because you have recovered from something painful. It's different than the joy you feel when money comes to you and you're basking in prosperity because you understand what poverty is. So I want to really drive in for everyone an awareness that there is a categorical difference between the raw, pure essence of joy energy and provisional joy, which is based on an awareness of how horrible it is not to have it. And I want to bring for you an awareness that both of those are available to you. We tend to only feel the provisional joy. And in fact, we quite often have the belief that we're not allowed, that somehow it's wrong or unseemly to have joy for no reason whatsoever. That spontaneous joy is somehow suspicious or dangerous or limited in some way. Let's clear those beliefs away. And anytime you have a belief system that tells you that your joy must be paid for in some way, that your joy must be bought with pain and suffering, your prosperity must be bought with really hard work, your bliss must be paid for with physical illness, or anything like that. Let's clear all of that away. And when you really recognize and understand what's going on with these two different categories of energy, you'll recognize that the pure raw frequency of bliss is self-sustaining, the provisional bliss needs suffering in order for it to exist. So think about that for a second. That's the way things are in our three-dimensional reality, and that's limiting for us. So if you firmly believe that the only way you will ever experience joy is to know its opposite intimately, then you can never have joy without pain. And I want to bring for you the possibility that yes, you can have joy with pain as a response to recovering from pain, and you can also have joy on its own terms. So everyone, let's just kind of allow that to sink into your subconscious mind, into your awareness, and open yourself up to the possibility of both of those. Now, I was working with somebody yesterday, and one of the themes that came up was a feeling that you have to pay your dues, that the whole purpose of human existence is to suffer your way to something better. And if that's the one and only path available to you to get someplace better, it's a legitimate path. It, by the way, it is a legitimate path. You can suffer your way to bliss, but it's not the only path available to you. And in fact, you can do several paths simultaneously. Nobody says that you must have only one path to spiritual growth. So just kind of bring that in for everybody. Let that settle in. Ooh. Okay, beautiful. So everyone take a really deep breath and hold it for a moment. Let's lock that in. And then release when you're ready. Wow. Okay. Okay, that feels really good. And built into that was an activation and attunement for that higher level of bliss for bliss sake, just the raw frequency of bliss energy and joy energy and happiness and so forth. So now both of those paths can be available to you. So if people are interested, I will be taking some callers lately, but I want to challenge you with something first. And this is a challenge that I've issued on maybe 3 calls in the past. And usually about half the people who call in get it and understand it, and the other half really struggle with it. And that is this. If there is a specific issue that you would like to work on that you would like to work on today, I would just challenge you just for today to focus exclusively on what you desire instead, rather than on the details of the problem. So if you're in the midst of some sort of family drama that's really got you down and somebody in your family is mistreating you and you feel victimized and you want to clear that energy today, when you get on the phone and call in or connect with me, instead of going into the details of what the problem is, tell me what you would like instead. What's your goal? What's your desire? I really want to use today as an opportunity to shift into what I call as if energy, as opposed to away from energy. Away from energy, what away from energy does is it guarantees you more of the same. Just basic law of attraction in action. If you are in pain and you want to escape the pain and you do a healing and your focus is exclusively on the pain, then your point of focus, the pain, is what you're broadcasting to the universe. The universe doesn't judge it, it just reflects it back to you with more opportunities for pain. A more tangible example: if you struggle month after month after month to pay the rent, and you would like to do a manifestation, some sort of manifestation exercise so you can step into prosperity and surplus, if you are in the energy of wanting to escape the pain of the debt and all you feel is how horrible that debt is and you have this sense of desperation to get out of the debt. When you ask for surplus, the energy that you're broadcasting to the universe is the energy of debt. The universe doesn't judge your request. It doesn't judge the energy you're broadcasting. It doesn't say it's not in that person's best interest to be broadcasting debt energy. It automatically reflects back to you the energy that you broadcast. And it brings you more opportunities to experience debt. So it's not the away from energy that creates your desires, it's your desires that create your desires. So let's challenge just for today or maybe for this week. Whenever you find yourself in the energy of, I can't stand this, I wish it would end, get into the habit of feeling, okay, what would I like instead? And really drive your attention into what you would like instead. And that's going to really empower everything for you. You'll find that usually you'll probably recognize that 80% of the time or more, when you're in the energy of, I just can't stand what's going on right now, I wish it would end, you actually have no idea what you would like instead. You can't envision what you would like instead. You have like a vague idea, but nothing specific, and no, um, uh, connection with the qualities of whatever it is you would like instead. And that's where the power is. So what you're doing is you're empowering what you dislike rather than what you do desire instead. So just kind of lay that out as a challenge for you, a challenge for this call, a challenge for you going forward into the next week. Um, and Awesome. So I see we have 47 attendees, and I don't see any hands raised at the moment. So we'll continue onward. Now, let's get into the power of gratitude for a moment. And I'm going to explain this in such a way that what I'm explaining to you is itself an attunement or an activation. So the energy of the concept that I'm presenting for you is what I'm bringing you into alignment with right now. And to understand gratitude and to understand the power of gratitude, it's important to understand how the brain functions. So, just in a nutshell, you have your conscious brain, your cognitive awareness. It's that tiny portion of the brain. If you look at the brain itself, it's just the outer layer of the brain, the shell of the brain, and then the very front portion of the brain that is processing all of your logical thoughts and your experiences in the world in a logical linear way. And then everything else in the brain is pre-logical. It is not conscious, it's unconscious. You can call it subconscious or pre-conscious if you want to. And in the unconscious mind, there is absolutely no concept of linear time and space. There's only the eternal now. If you're thinking about a pain or a horrible thing that happened to you 20 years ago, your subconscious mind feels it in the now. And if you haven't recovered from a trauma from the past, your brain is still feeling it as if it's happening right now. Now, one of the functions of the subconscious mind is your protection and your survival. And in order to protect you from potential dangers, your subconscious mind is constantly scanning your environment for dangers. The subconscious mind lives in the eternal expectation of danger. That's the way human beings survive. Because if you relied exclusively on logic to keep you alive, you would have died probably a long time ago. You would have, you put your hand into the fire not knowing what fire is. You're going to wait until your hand's burnt to a crisp before you pull it out, or at least burnt badly before you pull it out, because you need to logically process what all of that is. Subconscious mind will have you yank it back before you're even aware that you've touched the hot surface. Um, and hundreds of other examples I can give as well. Now, you've heard me say many times that You create your experience in the world through your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, and your expectations. Your expectations create your experience in the world. And if your subconscious mind is constantly in the expectation of danger in order to protect you, then you have a built in negative bias in your brain. And the way for you to compensate for that built in negative bias is to force yourself into awareness of everything that's positive. You force yourself to recognize the good in your life. You force yourself to recognize all of the good things that happen to you during the day. And you can do that every single night as a ritual practice if you would like. So, gratitude is unbelievably powerful because it's really the one and only tool you have to counteract that inherent natural negative bias that's built into the brain. Without gratitude, there's nothing to counterbalance the negative bias. And therefore, the vast majority of your thoughts and your beliefs and your expectations, all of the unspoken ones that are down in the subconscious mind, all of those, or the majority of them, lean in the direction of the negative. They lean in the direction of what can go wrong rather than what can possibly go right. They lean in the direction of remembering the bad things that happened to you rather than remembering the good things that happened to you. And the more mundane, the more likely that is to happen. So, on a very, very mundane level, let's say you drive to the grocery store and you hit every single green light on the way to the grocery store, chances are you're not going to remember that that happened the next day. But if you drive to the grocery store and hit every single red light on the way to the grocery store, boom, that gets locked into your mind. That gets locked into your memory, and you say, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always hit every single red light on the way to the store? It's not that you always do that, it's that you only remember when that happens. You don't remember when you hit every green light. So gratitude helps force you in that direction, or at least lean in that direction, and then the snowball begins to roll. So everybody, I know I've been talking for a really long time, but the attunement is built into the the talk. But let's lock it in deeper. So let's mm, bring you into a deeper realization of the power of gratitude so you can know on a very, very deep level within your subconscious mind, you can understand as your higher self does the power and value of gratitude. So you can recognize when you're slipping into negativity, and you can have the willingness to take action to step into gratitude instead. Let's clear away any and all situations in which it actually feels good to vent and to stew about negative things. This is an addiction that a lot of people need to clear. They need to purge this addiction to somehow it scratches the itch for you to really stew in the negative. And if you do that, I'm going to bring in a deeper awareness that it is possible possible for you to counterbalance that with an equal measure of gratitude. Beautiful. And then I also want to help shift the energetic pattern within everyone. Allow this to happen. The energetic pattern in which the disappointing and obnoxious and frustrating things in life, you feel them very, very viscerally in your body, but you never feel the small successes with the same degree of emotion and joy. Let's shift that around so that the little annoyances don't really bother you as much, but when the little successes happen, you really feel the joy of that experience. So simply allow that to emerge within you now. And I can see with a lot of people, there is the myth or even the archetype of death by 1,000 tiny paper cuts. So let's clear that away as an archetype for your life. The feeling that, nothing truly tragic that you might see in a movie has happened in your life, but every day it's 1,000 different little teeny tiny indignities, and therefore it's death by a million paper cuts. Let's just clear that away as a template for how you live your life on autopilot. Okay, beautiful. So everyone take a really deep breath and hold it for a moment and release when you're ready. Wow. Okay, let's let that settle for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to take some questions now. If you're dialing in on the telephone, it's *9, not *2 to raise your hand. So you can raise your hand by hitting *9. And now I'm going to unmute Vicky. So, Vicky, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Vicky. How's it going?
It's going good. I would like to have instilled within me or within my subconscious mind a very strong knowing of
Mm-hmm.
gratitude and appreciation of a good night's sleep and waking up, have the gratitude and appreciation that I wake up. Look, I get to wake up.
Okay, beautiful. So let's do
Crap, I
this
gotta
in
work.
2 layers. Let's do this in 2 layers. Let's do an activation of just the energy of deep sleep and waking up, and kind of shifting away all of the 1,000 different things that might prevent you, just the sleeping with one eye open, or the fear of sleeping too deeply. We'll just kind of wash all of that away with an attunement for just deep, restful sleep, out of which you wake up refreshed. And then layer on top of that, and this is like up to you, the gratitude for having that experience. So everyone, just please accept and receive a little adjustment in your subconscious energy pattern that will allow you to sleep deeply, sleep long hours, restfully without disruption, to get as much sleep as you need every night, and to wake up refreshed in the morning. Beautiful. So let's lock that in with a very deep breath and release when you're ready. And then, of course, on top of that, we'll layer the gratitude. So, just thankfulness that you wake up in the morning at all, for some of you,
Yes.
and thankfulness that you've had a good night's sleep, and thankfulness that you've gotten as much sleep as you have, even if you wake up in the morning and you're not really a morning person and you still feel groggy for the first half hour or so. Just gratitude that just getting up out of bed and walking around for a little bit will wash those cobwebs away. It's just, layer that over the activation we've just done. Okay, wow. So thank you, Vicky.
Thank you. I have a question, and it may be that this is what that is. Does this instill into the subconscious mind so that it understands, like our higher self understands the importance of getting a good night's sleep?
Yeah, well, you're I would say that your subconscious mind already understands the importance of a good night's sleep. It just doesn't know what a good night's sleep is anymore.
Oh,
It's
okay.
forgotten what it is. And there is something that's called the law of mental equivalence. It's equivalent with an S on the end. So the law of mental equivalence basically states that whatever you're capable of having a mental concept of, and really holding deeply, that's possible for you in the world. What it means is if your subconscious mind has no concept of what something is, then you can't really create it for yourself in the world, even if you really want it. And it's not that your subconscious mind doesn't know what a good night's sleep is. It's that because of any number of experiences you've had in this lifetime, it has forgotten what a good night's sleep is. So,
Okay.
kind of open that up for everyone so you can know what it feels like to have a good night's sleep. You can know what the benefits of a good night's sleep are. And you can understand that, as does your higher self. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. That was
Thank
an awesome way
you.
to
Thank you.
round that
Thank you.
out. Mm, okay, wonderful. And now it looks like I'm going to a number that ends in 4299. Hello.
Hello, Patrick.
Hi.
Hello, Patrick.
Yes, who is this?
Colette. It's Colette.
Colette. Hi. Hi,
I have
welcome.
a different number. That's why you didn't recognize it, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
So,
on Zoom, I'm only getting the number for people dialing in.
oh,
I'm not getting the name. So,
okay. Okay.
okay,
Yay.
awesome.
You know, I'm really thrilled with you because I was thinking, my gosh, I would like this call. I would like people's questions would be more like positive and going direction to where they want. I did write in. So, reset. Pause. I really what I wrote in was I love the pause and then the reset that we're going through this during this time. I do, and I just thought it would be nice to have a little more clarity and a little less confusion that I do have come up to help with that.
Yeah. Well, I've got,
I have several. Yes.
let's do something really quickly for everyone that I think is really powerful. And it's building
Mm-hmm.
upon what I did last week and in the session from last week. And that is, whenever we find ourselves in some sort of crisis situation, and it feels like danger is emerging all around us, it does two things. First of all, it causes you to focus. It causes you to come in to tunnel vision. And that is a mechanism that's built into the brain to protect you, because you really need focus when there's a danger in front of you. The problem is, this isn't a danger that's like a lion walking towards you. This is something that is diffuse, and it's spread through society, and it impacts all sorts of different arenas of your life. And when you get that narrow tunnel vision, it doesn't serve you. So I want to expand everyone's perspective so you can see everything that's going on around you without overwhelm, so that when you have a specific problem emerge in your life, or a challenge emerge in your life, it doesn't suddenly feel like the entire universe is constructed out of that challenge and that it's the only thing that exists. So kind of spread that out so we can open up everyone's awareness and remove the goggles, the fear goggles, or remove the tunnel vision, the little telescope that you're looking through. Beautiful. And to do that safely and without overwhelm, because the biggest thing I feel right now is that a lot of people feel like they must compartmentalize everything in their life because there's so much going on in different arenas that it's overwhelming. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so sorry I interrupted, but that felt necessary in that moment. So you had another question?
Oh well. Yeah, because I just want to start thinking about other services to offer animal communication, various different things that I know that I have gifts for.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why I was saying, I know I have a lot of various stuff I can combine to be just me gift, not have a real name for it, but that's where I was saying where I had a little confusion, I guess. I
Yeah.
guess I don't have
So
to fit myself in any box of, yeah.
yeah, so confusion makes perfect sense right now. Let's bring in a greater energy of patience. And
Okay.
um, because the world is changing right now as we speak, we are in the middle
Yeah.
of a pivot point. And it's really hard to see what's around the corner as we move past this pivot point. So let's bring
Correct.
in like an openness, a readiness, a willingness to take action when new ideas and new opportunities emerge. But let's counterbalance that readiness and that eagerness to take action. Let's counterbalance it with patience to wait for the right opportunities to emerge.
Good. Okay.
I know that sounds like
That makes sense.
two conflicting forces. We want to bring them into harmony with each other.
Yeah, I know. No, that's actually what my question probably would have been if I thought it out better. But yes, that's what's going on.
Thank you. Okay, so everyone take a really deep breath and hold it. Let's lock that in. And release when you're ready. Okay, Colette, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, now I'm going to unmute a number that ends in 6026. Hello.
Hi, dear Patrick. This is
Hi.
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you doing?
And thank
I'm
you
so
so much.
I
I
felt
love
so
you.
bad last week because I really put you
No,
on the
no,
spot last week. So
no, no,
it's
no, no, no. Actually, that tells me how compassionate you are. I
oh,
know it's the other way, and you care, uh, and I understand that, and I really appreciate that.
so
Patrick,
Elizabeth, what would you like?
um, I want to be able to see myself. I used to be able to see and to feel myself, and I could clear myself. I could clear with my third eye, or from with my eyes. I could clear fear. I could do anything,
Wow.
and I
So
want that back.
this is really interesting because I can suddenly see all sorts of like this whole universe, this kaleidoscopic thing emerging all around me right now as you're talking. So, and this is a benefit for everyone on the call. And I think it's connected to the pivot point we're in right now, because not only is this a pivot point, this is a step forward in evolution. And
Mhm.
you, when you were younger, you had a very clear vision of who you were as an individual. You knew
Yes.
who you were separate from other people, and you knew who you were in relation to other people. And then over
Mhm.
the years, you've had this massive explosion of compassion and empathy and uh, just compassionate connection with other people. And the unfortunate side of that is you've lost sight of who you are as an individual, distinct and separate from others, because of the flood of empathic energy coming your way. So let's
Mhm.
do an activation for everyone so we can increase your empathy, increase your compassion, increase your awareness of the needs of everyone around you, and yet still not confuse yourself with them, still keep you in the place where you know exactly who you are as an individual, distinct and separate from others, and who you are in relation to them.
God bless you.
So let's open that up. And there's one more layer that's really important here that I want to get into, and then this will lock everything into place. Because you have lost or you've had muted your ability to recognize the distinctions or the boundaries between you and the people around you, there's been a faulty conclusion in your subconscious mind. And that is that the pain and suffering of other people that you're close to, if you can't do anything about it, or if you don't do anything about it, their suffering is therefore your fault. So we need to clear that away. This is a consequence of really common consequence of developing really profound, deep empathy for other people, but not knowing how to manage it well. Suddenly their pain is your responsibility. And then the next step is, if you don't do anything about it, it's your fault. So let's clear that for everyone in the group.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, everyone take a deep breath and lock that in. And
Hi.
release. Wow.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
thank you.
You're right to the point. Thank you so much.
So I'm
God
going to
bless you with all
God
goodness.
bless you too and everyone else on the call. And I'll put you back on
Thank
mute. And then we're going to go to Hema. So hello, you're unmuted, or you should be free to talk.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking my call. So I'm so grateful for the sessions, the private sessions we did. The crisis situation is still there, but I'm feeling much calmer.
Mm-hmm. I
So
feel like there's a really profound opportunity. Sorry to cut you off, but these things jump in. There's a
Mhm.
really profound opportunity right now to lock into you like this giddy feeling of optimistic expectation. And I feel like you're
Mm,
right on the cusp of that. And then I'll get back to your question. I just want to activate that for everyone. It's not just positive expectations or optimism about the future. It's a giddy butterflies in your stomach excitement about what's possible for you in the future. And notice the way I've worded that. It's a giddy excitement about what's possible for you in the future. It's possible because it requires your action in order to activate it. So there's kind of a call to action that the universe is handing to you right now. It says this is possible for you. Feel the giddy excitement of the optimism you have right now. Feel that that the quavering butterflies in the stomach that are represent that excitement. Of course, that's your power center where the butterflies are. Okay, and recognize that it's your action that activates that power. Okay, beautiful. So let's lock that in for everyone. Sorry for interrupting, but that just, how these things are. So Hema, what were you saying?
that was right on, Patrick. I was going to talk about it actually. So
Oh,
I can
okay.
see the opportunity, and the words that are ringing in my ears is not, this time it's not just survival, it's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it is an expectation, and I see it. But there is something to do with ancestral peace.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, I'm unsure. But if you can tap into it and see what you see.
There is an ancestral belief system within you, and probably 40% of the people on the call right now, that is okay, it's built upon the belief system that if you that in order to have success you must earn it, and therefore success comes through hard work. And if you want like prosperity, you have to pay for it in some way. So I've already talked about that earlier. It's the flip side to that. It's the feeling that anything that comes to you easily and effortlessly is suspicious, or it's worthy of contempt. That if you see somebody who has it too easy in life, that's a criticism of them. It's not a celebration of, oh my God, this person is really living their life right. They are in connection with their power. There's a feeling that, oh, that person has it too easy. Things are going, that person's charmed. I hate that person. That there's something suspicious about that person. So, and that's it, like in your ancestry, there's this feeling of um, that whatever you create, you must work hard to create it. And therefore, if you create it easily and effortlessly, it's not fulfilling and it's actually worthless. So let's clear that away for you. Is that making sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and for everyone on the call as well. And I can see it's actually not even in the majority of people on the call, but kind of they're bubbling in the background for lots of us. Okay, beautiful. Okay, how do you feel?
I feel good. Can I ask you one other thing?
Sure, sure.
Whatever blessings I can bring in from my ancestors to be able to thrive.
Yeah, just ask for it. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask and then be receptive. So it's nothing that I can do to activate it for you. I can ask
Okay.
on your behalf if you would like, but it's so much more powerful if you ask it yourself because they're connected to you.
Okay.
You know, I'm connected with your higher self through the connection that we have, but you are your higher self. So it's one thing for me to ask your higher self to bring something to you. It's another thing for you to just ask for it, you know, on your own because you are your higher self. So it's a lot more meaningful. So yeah, just
Oh,
ask.
that's powerful. I was like,
Yeah.
can you just do it for me? But yeah, thank you.
And that's true for everything else as well. Guides, angels, helper spirits, um, you know, they're connected to you. Just ask away.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to take two more callers. I've got, it looks like, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Veshna. Um, so let me unmute you. Whoops, I accidentally. Okay, so for some reason, Veshna, it's wanting to pop you up on the screen. So let's see what happens. Um, it's not allowing me to just simply unmute you. It is sending you an invitation to pop up on my screen. So until I think there's a button you have to push on your end.
Yeah.
Until
Hello,
that,
can you hear
hi,
me now?
hi. Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you now. Beautiful.
You push some button and yeah, everything's changed. Well, there is something I really want to feel, and I can't. I want to feel loved, and
Oh,
I want to feel appreciated, and I want to feel like I matter. And I'm
okay.
talking about private, like personal life,
Okay,
not
let
professional.
me stop you right there because I can already see like this whole little.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so here's, oh, this is really interesting. And I think this will be powerful for everyone. When you say you want to be loved,
Mm.
what you're saying, what I'm feeling energetically is not that I don't know what love feels like, it's that I'm unlovable. And what you want is, despite the fact that I'm unlovable, I want other people to force themselves to love me anyway. So
Oh,
it's
it
like
would
a
be
really like a,
wonderful.
it's multi-layered in that way. So this is like more profound than just I don't know what love feels like. It's
Mm.
that I I am unlovable, and therefore the burden is on other people to love me despite the fact that I'm unlovable. So it's like a dual thing here where I'm not worthy of it, and I'm
Mm.
angry that other people aren't giving it to me anyway, like it's somehow their responsibility. So let's kind of shift all of this. And I know that that sounds really weird, but it's just shifted for everyone. Okay. Now, when people say, I want to be respected, I want to be appreciated, the feeling is always that other people are overlooking you. So let's send an invitation within your energy pattern to be seen. Now, I've seen a really common energy pattern in a lot of people, and it's not really there in you, but it is in your ancestry of hiding yourself, of playing small, of not wanting to be the center of attention, not wanting to be visible to other people, and then at the same time being upset that they don't see you. And I can see this like in your family, your mother like did that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's shift that around for everyone if that's part of what you have. This feeling that you want to be invisible And then when people treat you like you're invisible, it makes you angry. So let's kind of clear that away. I know that's a crass way of putting it, but I want to clear the mythology,
Mm.
the whole collection of belief systems that support that energy. Bring in a deep awareness that it is okay for you to shine your light bright for everyone to see. And then, of course, there are like some little energetic patterns that can be cleared where it's clear that people just take advantage of you. It's in
Okay.
your life. People are always just, um, they see you as an easy target. They take advantage of you. They know if they ask you to do something, you'll do it, and um, they won't thank you for it. So we want to clear that for everyone. It's like it's the mythology of the doormat, where everyone steps on you and they rub their feet on you to get the dirt off, but nobody thanks their doormat for doing its job. So let's kind of clear that for everyone. And we, like I mentioned, we're staying on the positive side of things here. We want to replace it with an energy of a willingness to shine your light very brightly for all to see. Okay, beautiful. How does that feel for you?
Oh, a little bit confusing because there was a lot of layers and truths from past and from now on. It's like lots of layers in it. Ooh.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So thank you. And uh,
yeah. Thank you.
I don't see you on my screen anymore. So can you mute yourself on your end?
Yes, I can.
Oh no, there I see you. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to take one more caller, and all it says is call in user number 2. I don't see a name or anything supported, but who is this?
Hi, Patrick. It's Kathleen.
Kathleen, hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm wondering if you can help me to strengthen my energetic boundaries, especially with the neighbors that are on the other side of my compound wall. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that
This is a
neighbor just,
long-term thing. So yeah. So
well, it is, and
wow.
it's a quick thing that one of the two neighbors, the long-term one, just died on Wednesday of liver failure.
Yeah.
So it was not very pleasant to be here. She was dying at home, and now I think
Yeah.
boyfriend's depressed, and
So
I
let
just
me
felt,
stop you right there, because the rule I said at the beginning
yep,
was we don't want the whole list of the details of the symptoms. We want what you want instead. But I'm glad you mentioned that, because what I saw visually is a metaphorical image of, and this might fit everything in your life. It's of you with like a fortress around you, like you have these very thick walls that you've built around you to protect you, and the outside of every single one of these walls is painted with bullseyes, with targets. So it's
oh,
like whenever you construct a wall between you and somebody else, on the other side of that wall, visible for them, is a target. So the wall
wow,
doesn't do what it's meant to do. The wall is an invitation for them to really get in your face. So let's kind of
wow,
clear that as a metaphorical, like a mythological energy that is infused in everything in your life. And we'll do this for everyone on the call. So anywhere and everywhere you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to establish your boundaries, and you're trying to say, okay, these are what my boundaries are, I expect you to respect them, that those boundaries that you put up have hidden bullseyes and targets painted on them that you can't see. Let's kind of clear that away for everybody. And there's this just interesting pattern in you, that whenever you try to close the door on something, it's like the person on the other side gets a battering ram. Okay. Beautiful. Is that making sense?
I don't understand what that means.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you. Your connection is really.
Oh, I don't understand what the battering ram means. What?
No, what I'm saying is that whenever you try to put up a boundary, on the
Yeah.
boundary itself is painted a break me down sign. The other people, when you put up a boundary, what's happening is the boundary has built into it an energy that causes other people to challenge the boundary automatically. Like somehow you're
Oh,
not
now I get
allowed to
it.
put up boundaries. So every time
Oh,
you
thank
put
you.
up a boundary, built into the energy of the boundary is not the, okay, this is my boundary respected, but um, call my bluff sort of thing.
Oh,
And it just
okay.
incites people rather than tells them to stay away. So just kind of
Oh, wow.
shift
Thank
that
you.
out for you. um, and it's a family pattern. It's goes way back. It's like really like present in your childhood. um, like anytime you wanted to say no to somebody else as a child, you were punished for it. And um, so yeah, we're just kind of clearing that for you. Okay. How was that?
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to put you back on mute. Looks like I've got something in the Q&A. Let me put on my glasses here. So Lillian, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Thank you for your beautiful work. I would like to perceive better what my body needs. Yes. Okay, let's do this as an activation for everyone, and then we'll we'll kind of close it out for today because we've gone about an hour so far. Okay. So the question is, how can I perceive better what my body needs? We need to do this in a two-step process. So the first thing we're going to do is clear away all of the habitual, um, all of the like low-level addictions that your body has, where it's become used to eating foods or drinking beverages that are sweetened or whatever the pattern is for you. And because your body's used to it, your body seems to crave it even though it doesn't need it or want it literally. So let's kind of clear that away. And of course, it is true that the modern food supply is manipulated to make you want to eat and drink more. So let's disconnect you from that and retrain your physical body to kind of taste foods as they actually taste. Most of us find healthy foods bland and boring, and we need lots of salt and sugar in them in order to taste them. We want to retrain the taste buds to taste food for what it really is. Okay, and for you, I can also feel that you have lost your sense of thirst to some degree. So you don't get thirsty until you're already dehydrated. So let's kind of shift that for you. And when you're in alignment with your thirst, you never really have to force yourself to drink water. You drink when you're thirsty, and that's enough for your body. That's where we want to bring you. Okay. Beautiful. And then for a lot of you, there is a disconnection between what you logically think in your head is healthy for you and what your body actually wants. So let's bring in a deeper willingness to ask your body what it wants rather than, thinking logically what it is you want. Because some of the things you've been told that you should eat are healthy for some people, but not for you. It just reminds me, I've told this story so many times before, but I love it. Dane here, Access Consciousness, got a question from an audience member who was basically saying, I'm vegan, but I don't feel healthy. How can I adjust my vegan diet to be healthier? And his response was, well, you might be vegan, but did you ask your body if it's a vegan? Ask your body, and listen. Okay, beautiful. Everyone take a very, very deep breath and hold it for a moment. And release when you're ready. Okay, beautiful. I've got a request to clear impatience. So we did that a little bit when we were working on um, the pivot point and patience for what's around the corner. So yeah, we've cleared impatience built into that. Um, yeah, clear the bed too. Interesting. Okay, so but that does bring up a question here. Let's do one more little energetic procedure for your home, because here's something that I see really commonly right now as we're kind of quarantined, and there's a feeling that the energy inside our homes is festering, and that the energy in your mattress, the energy in the walls of your bedroom, your pillow, the carpets, and so forth, it just feels like for a lot of people there's festering energy there, and that the only thing that will get rid of it is when you leave the house finally. So let's kind of clear that away. And just, I would recommend that everyone wash their pillowcases, wash their sheets, flip the mattress, maybe get a new mattress. It's just kind of clear out of your energetic space any and all sluggish energy that is magnified right now by the frustration of quarantine or Okay, beautiful. Now let's do an attunement for everyone for gratitude and optimism. We've done this throughout the entire call, but I really want to lock it in. The power of gratitude, the power of optimism to transform your life and to help get you through the challenging portions of your life. So simply allow that to sink deeper into your being so you can feel it naturally, easily, and effortlessly at all times, even as you're facing challenges. Okay, beautiful. Wow. Let's lock everything in with a deep breath, and let's bring that breath really super deep down into the belly. Just pooch that belly out as you breathe in deeply. I want you to really feel this breath in your power center. And release when you're ready. Wow. Okay, so everyone, thank you very much. I've got a couple of quick announcements, and then I will play some closing music that I'll have to cut when I do the replay, so I don't have the copyright for it. So first of all, Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the normal Tuesday meditation that I've been doing is preempted because I'm going to be on the Alara Canfield show. So please register for the Alara Canfield show. You'll love it. It's a great show. Lots of really fantastic interviews, lots of free gifts. And then my interview is coming up on Tuesday. We're talking about intuition. And then beginning Sunday next week at this time, 11 a.m., same time as today's event, I'm starting the Lightbridge Happy Hour, and we'll just cover different topics each week going forward. I'll also make some announcements about what's new in Lightbridge. Through the month of May, I'll be returning on Tuesdays to those weekly meditation events, and those will continue until the current global crisis is ended. So eventually, those Tuesday meditations will go away. Also, if you would like me to continue doing free events, please support Lightbridge in some way if you can. You can send a donation, you can sign up for a course, you can buy my book, you can buy Brain Cells, Escape Your Mental Prisons on Amazon. It's a perfect opportunity right now to read a book, and I think that's a good one. So if you can help me do the free events, that would be awesome. Everybody, love, light, and joy to all of you, and I wish you the very best. Thank you very much. This is Patrick Prohaska from Lightbridge Academy.